All right, ladies and gentlemen, you might be saying, what are we doing here? After England wins a huge game in the World Cup against Senegal, and it's weekend here in America, and people are watching American football, and the World Cup is going on. But I promise you, this segment tonight on Sportswire Radio, now that we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and sportnarium.com/player, is going to be big, if not bigger than all of that. Because our guest here, they call him the Northern Enforcer. He is from Portsmouth, but I'm telling you, you're going to find out why and some. He's got a huge match coming up against the CEO of CCW, someone we know very well, and of course, Mr. James Barris in a couple of short weeks from now here at the Colory Christmas Carol. So let's get right to it because without further ado here on the Sports Report, we put number one global sports shop pro wrestling star here from Colory Championship Wrestling. That is BMD. BMD. My friend, how are you?
I'm just getting over a really rad cold. It wasn't so rad, it was pretty awful actually, but on the better end of it now, and getting myself much better, ready to get my hands on Barris.
Well, I hope you feel better, and certainly we'll see if you infect Mr. Barris with some of the angst that you might have. Hopefully not too much from the remnants of the cold, but hey, that is that time of year. But my friend, obviously good to be with you. We're going to talk a lot about James Barris in a little while, and I might even have a surprise for you regarding CCW, so stay tuned for that. But for those that are listening here on Sportswire Radio, I was always curious about you when it comes to how'd you get into the world of professional wrestling, and talk about the journey so far for us?
So I actually used to run a podcast myself during lockdown, just something to keep myself occupied, and we had a couple of local wrestlers as guests, and one of the guys, Will Gaskin, massive shout out because he's a big part in why I do this. He invited me to come do a couple of training sessions. And then I ended up being his manager for a little while. His gimmick was like this rock star, and I was like his biggest fan. So we did like quite a few shows in the South Coast last summer, which was really awesome. And sort of since then, we kind of went our own ways, and I started training more. I'm quite lucky where I live. There's a lot of wrestling schools around me, so
it's interesting you said that because I've spoken with a number of different wrestlers here, and that was actually a problem at one point. But yet, actually, for you, it was complete the opposite. I mean, when you're doing this podcast and everything that went on during COVID, and we were covering a lot of wrestling at that time for everybody here in the UK that hadn't come back yet. I mean, was that ever something you envisioned? Hey, you know what? I mean, I know you got the size. I know they call you the Northern Enforcer for good reason, but I mean, you transition from, in my world, to almost the other side. I mean, did that ever feel a little bit awkward in any way?
One thing about that, I've always learned not to worry about what people think negatively. It's about making a positive impact. I'll address the elephant in the room. I'm a big dude. I'm a very.
I wasn't going to say anything because you are, well, a really big guy, but
I can't hide it. I'm a big guy, and but this is one thing. Big boys can move too.
Well, I mean, they call you the Northern Enforcer, so apparently you're using your size to your strength and ability. And let me get to a few comments already here. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Taylor Truths, who's been obviously with us on many shows. And he says BMD, 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 and much love to BMD, my brother. And obviously, I want to also give a shout out to somebody we know very well on Sportswire Radio. And I kind of actually want to jump right into it almost here when it comes to CCW. And of course, our very dear friend, Mr. Slugger Hampton, of course, one half of the former tag team champions in CCW. That is, of course, the Working Class Militia. They were a part of Top Tier. And Slugger has certainly done a lot here in the world of professional wrestling this past year, and you've certainly had your wars with him. And I mean, talk to me about maybe some of those wars because we haven't heard from you. I've heard from Slugger in the past about you, but I mean, now that Slugger's here with us live on Sportswire Radio, what would you like to share about him?
Uh, as people
Don't be
know,
shy now. He's here. And you know it.
as people know, myself and Slugger definitely got off on the wrong foot. Part of that was maybe me being a bit too cocky as a new star trying to branch out, and Slugger trying to maybe take me down a peg. But you know, Slugger was my first singles match.
I remember speaking with him, I think, right before your match with him earlier in the summer.
That's a match, you know, we gave each other everything that match, you know. We chopped each other's chest till the red, we forearm, we fought, we scratched and we clawed. You know, we were in that ring for half an hour. You know, we gave each other everything. And it was intense, you know. Especially because with it being my first singles match, you know, I'd done a Rumble the month before. I'd been eliminated. I got my head shaved. I was bitter. I was angry, and I wanted to try and make a name. And, you know, at the time, it wasn't in Slugger's thing, but Slugger helped me get to where I am today. And Slugger's a big part of why I'm so known with CCW and why I'm so lucky to have such an amazing fan base.
I'll get to Slugger in a second, but let me ask you a question because you said something interesting, and I want to talk about this here for a second. But when you have a match like that, where basically your only experience is being in a Rumble, then you go into an aggressive 30-minute match, and Slugger Hampton, obviously, again, when I think of tag teams and I think of even singles runs that he's had in other companies, I think he's really positioned himself to be a big time player, whatever happens with him in 23. But I mean, what was that like in being able to pace yourself for a match like that to all of a sudden just go from a Rumble to a 30-minute match when you haven't quite had that kind of experience that, let's say, a Slugger has had?
Honestly, no words can describe it. It's so intense. You know, there's just white noise when you get in that ring. You know, there's nothing else in that room. It's just you and the other person across that ring. You know, it's such a weird feeling. But you know, and Slugger probably knows it himself. You know, once that bell rung, we were the only two people in that room. There wasn't a referee. There wasn't crowds. There wasn't James in Slugger's corner. There wasn't Taylor Truce in my corner. It was just about fight.
And let me come back to Slugger because obviously Slugger has something to say for you. And also, Mr. BMD, I do have a special surprise for you here in about 15 or so minutes. So I'm going to make the announcement here in 15 minutes or so on Sportswire Radio. We're going to have a big surprise for you here because obviously that's what we do. But in the meantime, Slugger has something to say. He says, I regret our start, brother. The head shave, the war we had, but it made our bond stronger in the long run. You've come a long way, and the sky's the limit for BMD. Let me ask you a question. I want to piggyback off this because Slugger's a guy that he's a straight shooter, and I've gotten to know Slugger, and he certainly is a guy that pulls no punches. And I've noticed this compared to, let's say, how he's earned your respect, you know, everything what you've done. He respects you now. But other wrestlers that I've had on Sportswire Radio, you might want to say they're also new kids on the block, but they kind of went about it the way you initially went about it, and they still have kind of been in that same mindset, according to some. Do you feel like that you did something different that maybe earned the respect of Slugger, or what does that mean to you to be able to earn somebody like Slugger Hampton's respect and everything that he's accomplished in the wrestling business?
Well, you know, Slugger's a veteran. You know, he's been in this business for a long time. you know, to have someone respect someone who's been in that business for a time like who had a career like Slug's had, it shows that somehow you are doing something right. You know, like he's a hard worker, fantastic. He's fantastic in the ring. So no, Slugger wouldn't say that either. Someone that Slugger would say that.
And it looks like there you go. I lost you a little bit there, Mr. BMD. So hopefully we'll hopefully fix some of that technical on your end. But I do have a few comments. Casey Jack Bradley says, "Good evening, gentlemen." Also, my very good friend from the Wrestling War Zone in the great state of California, Mr. Darrow Johnson, who, by the way, we're going to be having coverage from the Wrestling War Zone company. That'll be this coming Thursday night. That'll be about 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Time with Jacob Dietz. So I'm looking forward to speaking with Jacob. And Darrow knows you, obviously, from the Golden State in California, says CCW, one of the best indies. And I want to ask you about CCW's success in a second before we get to, obviously, the surprise here in a little while. And when you're a part of a company like CCW that has had sellout after sellout after sellout, and the next show coming up here in 2 weekends from now, which is going to be the Colory Christmas Carol, is yet sold out once again. What does that mean to you? Because, there's a lot of companies out there that just don't have this kind of success. I mean, you guys sell out in like 5 minutes. I mean, I just covered a company last week that had sold 230 tickets or so, and that was the first time they did that in 10 years. You guys do that literally like it's like nothing. You do it every month. I mean, what does that mean to you to be a part of a company like CCW and the success you guys have had?
The CCW fan base are the most invested. They come to every single show without fail. They are the most loyal fan base in the Northeast and a lot of the UK. Without fail, you've got the same guys through the doors each month coming to watch what you do, and it's honestly nothing beats the most fantastic feeling in the world that these people will come watch you for you to do something that you've dreamed of since you were a kid. Nothing beats it.
Well, certainly these are reasons why everybody should like and follow Colory Championship Wrestling here on Facebook at Colory Championship Wrestling. And I have some more comments, and hopefully you can fix some of your technical difficulties on your end a little bit here. But we have BMD, 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 and of course, Ronnie Thatcher, who's been with us here in the past. He says, "Hey, you bunch of mugs, how's it going?" And of course, Hybrid here, we definitely know Hybrid very well. He says, "Good to see you, BMD." And also, CCW and GTM are like AEW and Ring of Honor, two companies that work so good together. Yeah, no, definitely. We'll get into that in a second. BMD, your internet, you do have to sort out your internet a little bit. Yes, you definitely have to fix the internet, even if you need to come back in and come back out, because you are coming in very low right now. Well, we'll wait here on Sports. Yeah, we're going to have you come back in and come back out, Mr. BMD, because definitely I'm starting to lose you, and we don't want to lose you altogether. So we are here on Sportswire Radio speaking with pro wrestling star BMD, who's got some technical difficulties, and we do have a surprise here for Mr. BMD. Hopefully he can come back in here, and we'll have a big surprise regarding his match here in about 10 or so minutes. That'll be with James Barris, the CEO of Colory Championship Wrestling at the Colory Christmas Carol. And of course, if you like what you hear from Colory Championship Wrestling, please do give Colory Championship Wrestling a follow on Facebook at Colory Championship Wrestling. And it is another sellout once again here. So please continue to support Colory Championship Wrestling. We'll also be on Facebook here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for your convenience at sportnarium.com/play. Also, you can follow us on Facebook at Sportswire Radio. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I am also here tomorrow night live with pro wrestling stars Kodak Kid and Craven Rage. And we also say thanks for supporting CC. Of course, my absolute pleasure. And of course, Colin McGregor, who has been with us here in the past, says evening, Tom Bryce. Yes, good evening, my friends. We're just waiting here on the arrival of BMD to come back, and it looks like BMD hopefully is back. And do you have better internet connection? Because now everybody from CCW is fired up, my friend. Do we have you now at a better spot?
I have got full bars. I'm all good.
Fantastic. All right, you sound a lot better here. You sound much better. So that is good news here. So people are fired up. They're ready to tune in. So good to see BMW. However, sadly, it appears he's using his ice bud to join the live, but that's okay. We're gonna work it out here so far. And let me ask you then here, going into this match coming up here with James Barris. For those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, and I mean, talk about why it's gotten to this point, and where do we go from here coming up here with this match?
Since I joined CCW, James has had an issue with me because he doesn't like that I stuck up for myself. I started out as a referee. It was a super last minute thing. The guys who were meant to be there couldn't make it. There was a lot of times at that show, James was getting in my face, trying to boss me about, trying to give me a lot of grief, and I just didn't take it. And yeah, he just didn't like it. And since then, he's constantly tried to knock me down. And yeah, he does, but I get up every time. That's the thing that he doesn't like, is that I'm still getting up. I'm still asking for more.
Well, you certainly have earned the respect of many in the CCW locker room and the fan base, starting out with the wars with the working class militia. And Ronnie Thatcher also says he would like to come back on, and absolutely will definitely make that happen. I will message you when we're off the air here, and we will definitely have you come back on before the next show. Let me ask you a different question. Obviously, we'll get to that surprise here very soon, but why is it that Mr. Barris hasn't quite respected you, but yet you've earned the respect from the working class militia? Talk to me on why, from afar, that has happened where the working class militia, they respect you now. They seem to embrace you, whereas Mr. Barris has not.
You know, me, as I say, like on from earlier, myself and Slugger, we went to war back in July. We gave each other everything. And, we've grown from that. But quite recently, it doesn't look like militia have been a part of top tier, and it doesn't seem like it's been like that for quite a while. James has got his own thing going on. He's had his run-ins with Prince Dagon, Bat Pigeon just recently, and now myself. I don't know. I think they're just slowly moving off track from each other, and it happens.
Well, it certainly happened that top tier has lost almost many of the belts here, and they certainly were the top tier at one point, but obviously that's here nor there. And I do have a few more comments, so let me get to a bunch of comments. Casey Jack Bradley says, I would love to see the GTM Academy and the CCW Academy work together. Well, that's a question that I'm sure somebody else can answer at a different time. My very good friend Dustin Hart and your very good friend says, good evening, Mr. Bryce and BMD, my good man. Good to see you still standing up to James Barris. Give him hell. Also, we have here Alfie Nerds. BMD, you're going to get the beating of your life, and I can't wait to see you consider your life choice. So would you like to respond? Would you like to respond to that?
Alfie Nerds. BMD, you're going to get beaten in your life. See, the last time I was in a ring with James Barris, that little weasel got involved. This time, you're not there to help him out, are you? So what I suggest you do, nerds, you go back into your little bedroom, get your little book of predictions, shut your mouth.
Ooh, strong words there from the Northern Enforcer of Portsmouth here. And I do have a unbiased opinion from you. Dagan or Hybrid, the Hellbound or the Pitbull on the 17th? Want to get BMD's impartial opinion.
Whew, that is a tough one. Both of these guys are fantastic athletes in the ring. But I think for this one, my money's going to go on Hybrid.
All right. And Dagan or Hybrid?
Yeah, my money's on Hybrid for this one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough here. I want to give.
Roll at the minute. Hybrid's on roll.
No question. Listen, he's definitely the last few months. If you think about CCW as we go into the end of the year, into 23, he's definitely positioned himself to have a huge 23 and build off it. And a win here, I definitely think would build for sure. And our very dear friend, Mr. John Rawlinson, who's been with us a bunch of different times. The CEO has apparently repeatedly found himself at odds with anyone more popular than him. That includes people within his own faction. Is that something that you've observed? And talk to me about your thoughts on that.
Well, this is another thing. John Rawlinson put a video up. There was a recorded phone call between James Barris and Slugger Hampton. This was not long after myself and Slugger's match.
Mm-hmm.
Slugger had said some things on live. They got deleted quite quick, and there was a nasty phone call between James and Slugger. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, it certainly could be a big reason as to why you're here in this spot. But I do have Alfie Nerds again says, after all the respect Dagan gave you, see, I knew you were a sly. Fill in the blanks. Any response?
Nerds, you have no idea what you're on about. Turn your laptop off. Go read a book and have a little cry. Muppet.
Well, let me ask you a question, and we're going to get to our surprise here in a second. Let me ask you a question, Mr. BMD. If James Barris were to be listening, what would you want to say to him?
What would I want to say? If you are watching this, James, 2 more weekends, you're going to sleep. You're going to sleep. And I can't wait to get my hands on you.
Okay, well, that's pretty much strong words there for the CEO of CCW, Mr. James Barris. I'm sure that Mr. Barris might be out there. I'm sure that he might have an opinion, at least if he is listening or watching. I don't know what he's up to, but I do have more comments and people want to talk to you. Santa Dagan, of course, obviously the son of Prince Dagan, says, my father is going to make hybrid pay. Our very dear friend, of course, from Nonstop Action Wrestling, UKW, and other places you see him, Young Horace, who I also owe an appearance to Sportswire Radio, and says, I'd have him with a emoji. I guess I'm not quite sure what the emoji's for, but okay. PG Boy, have some respect. I think he means Alfie Nerds, if I'm not mistaken. And Jamie Mack, of course, we know Jamie Mack very well. Alfie Nerds, watch your language. So, well, that's why we made sure to not say what he said, so fill in the blanks. But that's okay. We understand. Everybody certainly gets into the moment. But I did want to ask you a fun question before we get to the surprise, and we're just waiting any minute for that surprise here on Sportswire Radio. But so why do they call you the Northern Enforcer?
I'm not too sure.
I was curious because I was wondering, because we actually know a couple of people on Sportswire Radio who are actually from Portsmouth, and one of them is Mark the Tank Ellens, who was obviously a world champion boxer here and local fighter, was a tough man fighter, and of course the GT Ministries world champion Disciple. Of course, Disciple is from Portsmouth, and I was like, well, I got to ask him that question and kind of see why they call you the Northern Enforcer, and talk to me about Prince Dagan then. Talk to me about the war that you had with him a couple of months ago, because I think that was a war where you also earned a lot of respect from people.
That was a match. That was a match of competition. You know, me and Dagon, we've had our ups and downs, and he's fantastic to be in the ring with. But you know, it definitely pushed me to my limits. You know, I didn't come out on top of that one. But I definitely think I gave him a run for his money.
I definitely think that you gave him a run for his money, but we're about to unveil our surprise here on Sportswire Radio, Mr. BMD, and you know we did mention James Barris, and you obviously said a few things about him, and for those that are listening here on Sportswire Radio, whether you're on the Colory Championship Wrestling Facebook page, our pages, and our flagship on sportnarium.com/player. The surprise is, without further ado, Mr. BMD, the man you're going to be across the apron in at the 17th at the Colory Christmas Carol. That is the CEO of Colory Championship Wrestling, Mr. James Barris. Mr. Barris, good to be with you here on a Sunday evening. And What would you like to say to BMD? Because I'm just sure that you heard some of the things that he had to say about you just now.
What I'm going to say, firstly, BMD, can you listen properly? Have you paid the internet bill? Flip a few more burgers at McDonald's to pay that extra cost, will you, sunshine? But I will tell you something. You need to thank me for a lot of reasons. And firstly, are you with us still? Because every time you move, your broadcast is stuttering like your mouth. Because I tell you what, BMD, I made you. Yes, I asked you to be referee because we had no one. And guess what? That is the worst decision in my goddamn life. Because now the fans feel sorry for you and screaming BMD, BMD, BMD. Well, come the 17th of December, BMD is going to die slowly. They ain't going to chant your name anymore, sunshine, because I made you and I'm going to goddamn end you, sunshine. Because what have you done? What's the sacrifices you've made? You have had the easy route. Yes, you travel 12 plus hours from Portsmouth all the way up. Still an easy route. I've had to claw, scratch, fight my goddamn way out of holes deeper than you've ever seen down there. I have paid the price. I have sacrificed everything, BMD. Everything that I have to put this goddamn platform on for idiots like you. But 2023, we're going to start with no idiots in CCW, because once I beat you, you can go back flipping burgers at McDonald's while I will go and flip heads in CCW. Now go on. What do you have to say?
Your response, BMD.
Let's make this interesting. You want me out of CCW, yeah? You want me gone? Yeah? Or are you just going to giggle like my pit? Tell you what, you beat me, I walk from CC. How about that?
Say goodbye now. Say goodbye now, BMD. Because mark my words, right? Don't you point the finger at me, sunshine. I'm still your goddamn boss around here. Do you see me smiling, sunshine? I may have smiled before, but this is round 2 between me and you. There's going to be no Alfie nerds. There's going to be no Dustin Hart in your corner. It's going to be me and you. And I tell you what, sunshine, you are facing your demons. I am the demon destroyer. Did you see what I did to Dagon? I set that demon on fire.
And he still come back and beat you, didn't he? Just like that pigeon. Oh, is that such a subject?
I have my back turned.
You
That
don't
little
get me.
bat pigeon. I'm not going to have my back turned to you, sunshine. And once I'm done, the pity party is over and you're out of here. And people that do want to work their goddamn arse off will belong in CCW. So, BMD, 17th of December, bring all your goddamn friends and family, because you are over. You're done with.
Your response, Mr. BMD.
Just one. So I'm gonna finish my deal. James, you beat me. I will walk. I beat you. You can't touch me. You can't get involved in my matches. That's the.
Can't get involved in your matches. Seriously, why the hell do I even want to bother being around someone like you for? To hell, do you even have matches in CCW? When's the last time you even had a match in CCW? And to hell, once I'm finished with you, you won't be dragging your arse all the way up from Portsmouth to the northeast of England to come to CCW. You'll be saying your goodbyes on the night, and that is that. Do you get it? Do you understand? Stop kidding yourself, Sunshine.
You have no idea what you're getting in against this time, James. You have no clue. You have no idea what you're getting yourself in for this time. I really hope you know that.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared of you. And I ain't scared of nobody. In top tier, may look like it's crumbling, but believe me, we will reform, we will grow, and we will rebuild and get stronger. And I tell you what, BMD, once I'm done with you and you sneak about, you snoop around anywhere near CCW, then top tier is taking care of business. Do you understand, Sunshine?
What top tier? What top tier? James, it's literally just you and Birds. That's not exactly top tier. Let's be real here, mate.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly have seen the fireworks explode and some here. We certainly thought we saw the fireworks in England's win over Senegal, but I have a bunch of comments and people want to talk, and they want to talk to BMD and James Barris, of course, the CEO of Cutlery Championship Wrestling, as they're going to be in the ring here coming up December the 17th at the Cutlery Christmas Carol. It's going to be BMD and James Barris, and Casey Jack Bradley says James Barris has probably not had his coffee yet. John Rawlinson says, I don't know about an easy route. That coach goes through Kilburn. Hybrid says, can't wait for this match. Love the aggression. Ronnie Thatcher, the gentleman Ronnie Thatcher, also reminds you on your internet. We'll see if we can work through it here the next 20 or so minutes. Matt Maxwell says, evening from the promoter of Breakout Pro Wrestling and good friend of CCW. So certainly everybody around the wrestling scene in the UK is watching this. I mean, BMD, Mr. Barris has really said a lot there. And, I think the pressure might be on you right now. You feel any more pressure now that the CEO is here right across from you?
As far as my talking goes for you, Barris, my talking will be done in the ring. Because then... Well, I'm glad you're laughing. I'm glad you're laughing, mate. I really am. Because you're going to need that humour when you have to pick yourself back up after, oh my God, another loss. Yeah? So keep laughing. Keep that humour, because you're really going to need it.
You know, Mr. Barris, John Rowlandson has a comment for you, and I want to bring it up because it sort of piggybacks a little bit about BMD, and this is what Mr. Rowlandson has to say here. Top tier has crumbled and gone. Hammerhead denounced it. Onyx is gone. Working class militia waving goodbye to CCW after last weekend. Denounced top tier. Top tier is pretty much toxic waste at this point. What would your response be toward that? Because certainly the last few months it hasn't been the most memorable for the top tier, but I want to give you the floor to respond to that.
Mr. Rawlinson, what do you go by? The voice of reason. Well, I'll give you my voice of reason. Top tier does look like it is falling apart, but believe me, Mr. Rawlinson, I won't let it fall apart, no matter what. Why? It's because I get things done. I make things happen. That is who I am. That is what I'm about. And people don't like that. You, BMD, say, I envy you. I heard that. Say, I'm jealous of you because I don't want the crowd cheering my name. Why do I want them idiots to scream my name for? Why? You tell me why. Are them idiots going to get you titles? Are them idiots going to make you work at the top? Are them idiots going to get you your dreams? No, they are not. No, they are not, BMD. Because all you're clinging on to, Sunshine, is the fans screaming 3 lousy, stupid letters, which is BMD. I tell you what, I take my hat off and I'm going to talk to you, Liam. Not BMD anymore, but you, Liam. I am going to hurt you, Sunshine. I am going to really hurt you. So I tell you what, you better bring your mum, your dad, your family, because they are going to witness what I will do to you in that ring. And there is no holding back, because you are leaving one way only. There's no stretch in this goddamn world that will keep you up, Sunshine. I have been in a coffin. I know what it's like. You don't. But December the 17th may be the first goddamn taste in a coffin that you were ever going to taste. Do you understand, Liam? Do you understand? This is personal now, Sunshine. This isn't me calling you BMD, you little made-up goddamn name. I'm coming to you, Liam, the person inside of BMD. You better say your goodbyes to your parents and your family, because you ain't leaving CCW on the 17th of December on your goddamn feet or standing up.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet followed Colory Championship Wrestling after what we're seeing right now, where BMD and James Barris, of course, our owner and CEO of this company, if you aren't following Colory Championship Wrestling after what I'm seeing right now, you clearly need to get your head examined. You need to go over to Colory Championship Wrestling right now. Over 4,000 strong have followed. Join the club. Join why this company sells out every single show, month after month after month, and why it's already sold out. And the only way you can find out more information on Colory Championship Wrestling is going on their Facebook page. And we have a few more comments. And Casey Jack Bradley says, it seems James is the corrupt CEO like Eric Bischoff, just bullying and abusing his power, unless there's a bigger picture here between James and BMD. Is there a bigger picture here?
Okay. If I was abusing my power like Eric Bischoff, maybe I could have made it a handicap match. Maybe I could have made it where BMD has his hands tied behind his back match. But no, I told you, BMD, that Alfie Nerds will be nowhere in my corner. You have nobody in your corner. It is me and you. If I was corrupt, then I would be up to something. Now, I am never up to anything. You know that. All them idiots know that. Come on, then.
Jump in, BMD. Go ahead. But I think you're on mute, BMD. You might want to
turn your sound on. We can't hear you.
BMD. We lost you. You're lost in translation. I mean, clearly, the pressure might be on here. I don't know, but BMD, can we hear you now? Do you want to talk into the mic? Well, I mean, Mr. Barris, I mean, what do you make of this?
I can lip sync. Keep talking. What you have to say about that, BMD?
Ladies and gentlemen, BMD, you might have to come back in and out because we can't hear you.
Mr. Barris, keep going.
This could be goodbye. This literally could be the goodbye here. I mean, BMD, certainly you're going on a whimper here. It looks like maybe Mr. Barris had a plan after all. Maybe, Mr. Barris, you knew what you were doing after all, because BMD has been having trouble from the start here. He's been having technical difficulties left and right, and you've come in here prepared. You seem like you know what you're doing. And to recap it for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, BMD is going to be out of here if he loses this match. Is that correct?
That is correct, Tom.
So this could be goodbye. Correct. This could be the goodbye to BMD. Maybe after all, you know what you're doing. You know what? Maybe Top Tier hasn't had the best few months, but it seems like you might be on track. And I have a few more comments. But BMD, are you with us now, BMD? And hopefully we can hear you.
Check. Mic check.
Okay, mic check. There we go. BMD, you've got a lot, obviously, to respond to. And what do you want to say? I mean, Mr. Barris seems like he's got a real plan this time.
So, you want to say you're not corrupt. Example 1. Chris Onyx, you gave that title to him. We were all there.
I give Onyx that title. That man put me down and beat me fair and square in front of everybody.
If that's the case, then I'm going to have a field day with you without nerds getting involved.
Nerds getting involved with who?
Who do you think? So,
Here we go.
Number 2, corrupts. You got nerds to distract the referee. Then you threw the chair to me and fell down and pretended I hit you. We hadn't even got started that night because you spent half the time pretending to stretch outside.
Well, you know, I turned up late to the venue and I needed to stretch before the match. Well, I'm sorry I don't have as much time as you do, Sunshine. You've got all day to piss about and smoke and to talk and yap on and to stretch and do whatever. But I'm a very busy man. I'm sorry. Planning all the stuff from in the future for all the likes of you, but no more. Not for you anymore. Because you can find another promotion down in Portsmouth, whoever will take you on, if they will, because they know you've been through the forbidden door. So I doubt that they will. So kiss goodbye to wrestling forever, BMD.
That's really cute.
That's really cute, Sunshine. You know it's the truth, and I know it's the truth.
Could this be the final goodbye of BMD and CCW? The only way to find out is to find out more information on Facebook at Colory Championship Wrestling. And Colory Christmas Carol is sold out yet again. It's another sellout. Of course, Colory Championship Wrestling, nobody does shows like Colory Championship Wrestling. And I have a question for you, BMD, from the lawman Cal Kennedy. Of course, we know him very well from Nonstop Action Wrestling, GT Ministries, Blackheart Wrestling, where he was just at. And what does BMD stand for, actually, which is actually a pretty good question. I'm sure Mr. Barris might know, but for those that are listening and watching, what does BMD stand for?
Well, big, massive, in D head. I'll say that nicely in a PG way. That's exactly what that stands for.
Well, what does BMD stand for?
Well, firstly, James, that would be BMDH, you illiterate moron. BMD actually stands for Big Mark Dafter.
Daft. Big Mark Daft.
Dafter.
Come on. Dafter. There's daft and dafter. You are daft, aren't you, son? You are daft to even take this challenge on. You are daft to even call me out. You are daft to even come to the Northeast on the 16th, the 17th of December. To hell, you are very lucky we didn't settle this next Saturday at the CCW Christmas party. Because I tell you what, right now I'm feeling like Scrooge and I just want to tear you apart.
If you want to fight, James, and if you can't wait, you know to drive your little self down here. You know,
wait, BMD, are you giving the CEO of CCW, James Barris, an invitation to come to you in Portsmouth to fight already? Is that what you're telling us here?
Welcome. He is more than welcome.
Do you want to share your address? Do you want to share any information on a place you might be so this fight could maybe take place if that's something you want?
The board of directors have my details.
Okay, he's talking to you, BMD. Answer him like a man.
I was. He's got the board of directors have my details. Hello?
Well, BMD, you want me to come to Portsmouth? You want me to come to Portsmouth?
If you want.
If there's Portsmouth going on, there'll be no 17th of December. You will get none of your fans screaming BMD. I think, to be honest, we'll leave it till the 17th, just so you can have some acknowledgement for fans. I ain't scared of nothing. But I tell you what, if I come down and finish you off before the 17th, you are going to get no glory from them fans at all. They ain't going to be screaming BMD, BMD, BMD. To be honest, I think you deserve just that one more round with them fans, them idiots that scream your name. One more round.
Well, Mr. Barris, I have a couple of comments directed toward you. So let me go to Casey Jack Bradley first. Then I'll go to Ronnie Thatcher because he has a direct question for you. And Casey Jack Bradley says, Barris, I would fairly understand you want to do this one-on-one, but I feel like there will be a twist to this match. So BMD would have to keep a lookout. Anything toward that, Mr. Barris, first, before I get to a few more comments directed toward you?
You know what really upsets me and really hurts me? That I built this promotion up from the ground up, and people think the worst of me. Why? Because one day Mr. Barris started standing up against all the people that put him down, all the people that he built this empire for, and they turned on him. But I stood up, I had an attitude, I started making my mouth go back, and then for what? I'm the bad guy now. I'll have tricks up my sleeve. I give that idiot there, BMD, my word, nothing and nobody will get involved, and you have. I tell you what, BMD, you want to put a stipulation in, I'll put a stipulation in. If Alfie Nerds or anybody gets involved on my part to help me gain a win against you, then I step down as CEO of CCW. There you go.
Whoa. Repeat that again, Mr. Barris, because this is a bombshell nobody expected here tonight.
I said, if anybody helps me win against you or gets involved, I will step down as CEO of CCW.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this a long time on Sportswire Radio, but this is the first I could ever remember of an owner, a CEO of a company, basically saying, like, look, if somebody interferes on my behalf or anybody does anything to help me in my match, I'm out of here. I mean, this is a bombshell. I mean, this is something I don't think anybody expected, and I think the locker room right now is just as shocked as I am, and probably those that are listening. Dustin Hart is just giving a whole bunch of question marks. Alfie Nerd has even said what? I mean, this is just a total bombshell, and to follow up on this, Mr. Barris, the gentleman Ronnie Thatcher says, I want to work with you, but let's do this on my show. Another One Bites the Dust, uncensored, this coming Wednesday on the Cutlery Championship Wrestling Facebook page at 9 p.m., and BMD, what you're doing, where has the aggression gone? I mean, Mr. Barris, would you want to talk with Ronnie Thatcher on his show coming up this Wednesday about this stipulation and much, much more? Because this is a bombshell here. I mean, this is something that nobody expected here right now.
Ronnie, I will talk to you, sunshine. And I tell you what, right? I ain't elite, and I'll never be elite, and I've got my feelings about the elite. And I've always thought that Ronnie was somewhat different to the elite. But like I said, and I'll always say, he chose his bed, he'll lie in whatever team he'll support. But with him being a CEO running another CCW product, I will talk to the guy, because I know the elite and top tier get put to one side when we talk about business, about running CCW and Carnage CCW as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I just heard something there with the top tier and elite. Maybe things could come together. Who knows? This is why you got to tune in Wednesday night on Ronnie Thatcher's show. And the lawman Kyle Kennedy, who certainly is going to be back with us before the upcoming Nonstop Action Wrestling show, says toward BMD, how is anybody taking this donut seriously? Good Lord, man. I've seen more charisma and intimidation in a wet blanket. I mean, BMD, you have other wrestlers now coming after you almost.
2 seconds, BMD. The lawman Kyle Kennedy, who was that comment? Was that towards me, or was that towards BMD?
It's toward BMD.
I don't need to put on a show, because when I get in the ring, and James is the promise, all my charisma all my aggression will come out on James Barris. Calm, collected, controlled aggression.
All right. Well, certainly those are some things to ponder and keep in mind, and obviously we'll find that out here and before the
But the
17th.
problem that we've got here is BMD doesn't have aggression. He doesn't want to hurt people. He's probably a little mammy's boy that loves people, has a heart, who just cares about people too much. You don't want to hurt people. You don't want to really go in and destroy anybody. But let me remind you of the business that we're in, Sunshine. We're in a goddamn wrestling business. We're in a match. We are going to hurt each other. It is simple as that. And I am going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you until you scream for your mother. Until you scream, Mammy. And Mammy is on the corner trying to reach for her little precious son. BMD, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're goddamn sorry. You should have been there all his goddamn life, keeping him away from the sport, because this sport is going to get him hurt. Now, I tell you what, when you're visiting your son in the goddamn hospital at Sunderland or Newcastle, wherever he goes to, you remind your son to go and pick flowers, to paint rainbows, to be nice. Just be nice and move away from the world of wrestling. Because I tell you what, BMD, this game is not meant for you. You are too goddamn nice, coming on everybody's goddamn live, saying, we don't see eye to eye, but I respect. Respect goes out the goddamn window. You respect far too many people, BMD. That is the problem with you. That is the problem with you, respecting everybody that comes in your path. I respect you. I respect you. And then what? And then what? Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing will happen. You'll get another arse whooping by the people you do respect, and you're down the bottom of the queue while you're looking up, and Bat Pigeon, of all people, is ahead of you. So I tell you what, Sunshine, enough of the arse kissing, enough of the respect. And you bring a fight to me, because if you don't, I am going to rip your goddamn head off and hand it over to your family and say, I told you so. See you later. Good night. Now get the hell away from CCW. Now what are you going to do about that?
You want to see some aggression? You want to see some character?
Yeah, yes.
It's Holiday Christmas Carol. I'm ripped to shreds, and I'm going to put you to sleep. I'm going to make you so embarrassed. You're going to be a laughing stock. See, yes, I do respect people, because you know what? It's about having some damn manners and knowing where I came from.
Damn manners coming from you, who never thanked the man that gave you a spot in the first place when everybody turned their goddamn backs on you. Exactly. But I tell you what, I brought you in, and I'm sure to be the one to take you goddamn out of this business. Kiss wrestling and indie wrestling, goodbye. Stay home, watch Monday Night Raw, watch NXT, watch goddamn whatever the hell you want. Even watch us. I tell you what, I'll make you our favourite fan. You'll be our #1 fan watching online, Sunshine. Yeah? Does that sound good? I'll get you a little badge. BMD, #1 CCW fan. BMD, the guy that didn't make it. BMD, the guy that didn't stand up and had the goddamn balls to live up to what he was saying to the CEO. BMD, Mammy's boy.
BMD, you are in big doo-doo right now. Ladies and gentlemen on Sportswire Radio, the gauntlet has been thrown out here tonight. What a surprise shock that we have had here. The CEO, James Barris, has come in here and he has thrown punches. He's on the offense tonight. BMD, could this be his final goodbye? Or could James Barris relinquish his control and his leadership in CCW if someone tunes it? BMW, I know you want to speak, so jump in there, BMD.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Because you know what? I haven't been myself for a while. I haven't had that aggression. But you know what? You just ignited something. So I'll tell you now. That top fan badge, you can chuck that away and you can kiss my ass. I don't want it, right? As I told you at the last show, I do not come here to be a referee. I do not come here to be a ring announcer. I come here to fight. So, Colliery Christmas Carol, yes, we are going in for a fight and we are kicking the hell out of each other.
And once I'm done with you at the Colliery Christmas Carol, you, my friend, will be the ghost of Christmas past.
Could this be a lump of coal coming into BMD's stockings and Christmas? I don't know. The only way to find out is to follow Colliery Championship Wrestling here on Facebook at Colliery Championship Wrestling, also Instagram as well. And before we get out of here, I do have a few more comments. Slugger Hampton says, rather than bottle a main event, big man, the lawman Kyle Kennedy. The lawman Kyle Kennedy responds, bottle a main event. You should know injuries happen, old man Hamp. I'll be in CCW soon enough. Prince Dagan says, bye-bye, James Barris. Bottom drawer. John Rowlandson says, those are strong words from someone who tapped out to the train ticket machine. And then those are some other things here. So you know what? I'm going to give you first the floor, BMD. I want to give you closing thoughts. Anything else you want to share to anybody? I know you're obviously got a lot on your plate, a lot to process right now. We're just a few short days away from what could be your final match here in CCW. But I want to give you the floor. Anything else you want to say to anybody showing up? Anything you want to plug? Or anything you want to say toward the man you are going to see across that apron here at the 17th of December at the Colliery Christmas Carol?
You know what, James? This all started out as a bit of fun. Started out as me and you winding each other up. You know what? It ain't fun anymore. I'm not here to wind you up. I'm here to get some retribution. And I'm here to ruin your day. I'm here to mess you up. You have no idea what is coming for you. But all I can promise you is by the end of it, you'll be going to sleep. So, enjoy your lie-ins. Enjoy your nice warm bed. Because it won't be a bed you'll be going to sleep in.
Mr. Barris, I'm going to give you the floor. Anything else you want to say, anything else you want to plug, anything else that you want to get off your chest before the 17th of December, and especially toward the man you're going to finally see in that ring, BMD.
Well, firstly, BMD, I just want to say we don't see eye to eye, but I have so much respect for you.
You had no respect.
No, I know respect. That was me taking the mick out of you. That was me rubbing it in to everything you ever say to everybody. I don't want you to respect me. I want you to fear me. Look in my eyes. To hell, I ain't even going to charge your mommy and daddy a ticket either, because they can come for free and they are going to pay for the rest of their lives on putting you back together piece by goddamn piece. And by the looks of you, there's a lot of goddamn pieces to put back. So I tell you what, you're only young, but by the time they're finished, God, they'll be retired and they'll want to settle down. But I tell you what, BMD, till now, till then, stay off my goddamn lives. Stay away from me. Because once that bell goes, it is the end of the road for you. Now, I will go out there and say sorry to your mum and dad and your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your cousins, whoever come to the shows in attendance for what I'm going to do. But really, I don't give two shits what I do to you. Because I am going to hurt you. And you've never felt pain in CCW. You've never had a match to even feel pain. But I am going to take you somewhere you've never been before. Hell, you'd be probably even puking in the ring. We'll probably have to bring some sick buckets in the ring. because you are going to feel something you've never felt before. And that is me, this, in pain. But I tell you what, the one who I really feel sorry for is your mum and dad. Why? Because they are going to watch their son crumble and fall right beneath their very eyes while you're lying on the floor. And guess what? Santi's coming soon. And let me guess, you don't see eye to eye to Santi, but you respect him. Ho, 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 ho. Get your Santa list ready. Tell Mammy what you want of Santi, because I tell you what, get the presents on the 16th, because you are not opening them on the 25th of December. Do you understand what I say? Do you?
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, the fireworks have exploded. This is something that we definitely didn't see coming here on Sportswire Radio. The surprise of them all is that the CEO, James Barris of Cutlery Championship Wrestling, invaded BMD's show, and certainly he told BMD that this could be your last goodbye in CCW, and BMD could. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to find out, and we have a few more comments. Taylor Truth says, oh dear, I see the CEO is talking rubbish again. Hybrid says, BMD, you need to stop showing respect to people and start taking it from people. This is your chance. Many wrestlers want Barris trapped in a ring with them. Don't mess it up. BMD, could the pressure be on you? I don't know. Does Mr. Barris have a plan? Has Mr. Barris got into the mind of BMD? I don't know. These are reasons why you need to follow Cutlery Championship Wrestling. Also, this Wednesday, we have the gentleman Ronnie Thatcher show. He's going to have Mr. Barris on. Could Top Tier be reforming? Could Top Tier be stronger and better than ever? I don't know. These are reasons why you need to tune into his show. Obviously, Mr. Barris has his own shows also on the CCW channel. Please make sure you subscribe to CCW. John Rowlandson is a part of things there. Colin McGregor, Dustin Hart, of course. Could never forget about Dustin Hart, Rockstar Rob Bagwell. So many great people. Of course, Jack Bartley is on the streams. He's our champion there in CCW. Prince Dagan, a whole list of people. And these are reasons why you need to follow CCW on Facebook at Cutlery Championship Wrestling. We will also have more CCW coverage before the 17th, the Cutlery Christmas Carol on Sportswire Radio. Dustin Hart also wants to give you advice, BMD. BMD, believe in yourself. You can do it. You know you can put Barris to sleep. So you're going to listen. BMD, certainly the locker room is going to certainly be polarized on this. You're going to get mixed opinions. We'll find out. These are reasons why you need to support Cutlery Championship Wrestling one more time. My name is the host of the Sports Report and the owner of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. We were joined here tonight by BMD, pro wrestling star, for now, for CCW. Could this be his last 13 days in CCW? Find out. And, of course, the owner of CCW, the CEO of the company, James Barris, of course, he has been the leader of Top Tier. And Taylor Truth says, BMD, I've got your back cheering you on, but you can't interfere. That's what we've agreed upon. No sides can have interference. So, and of course, if anybody interferes on James Barris' behalf, he's no longer the CEO. So the stakes have been raised here. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on Sportswire Radio. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, you go back to your regularly scheduled program. You have more wrestling coverage on the radio end. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we'll be back with the Lawman Kyle Kennedy on the 16th of December. We'll also have more CCW coverage the week of the 17th. So before we get to the Christmas Carol, we'll have plenty of talent on from the locker room to find out. And we'll also have more coverage tomorrow night live with Wrestling Championship Entertainment's Kodak Kid and Craven Rage. And then to follow this week on Thursday, we will have on Jacob D's of Wrestling Warzone. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on the number one global radio station. My name is the host of the Sports Report, the Reverend Tom Bryce. Thank you. Thank you, BMD. Thank you, James Barris. Good luck, and we'll talk with you guys.